Hello and welcome back to GB Licauco Live. This is January 11 today, 2021. And we continue our exploration into the unknown, exploration into the paranormal, the mystical, the supernatural. Questions that have been repeated so many times because it's a mystery. There's a lot of things that people want to know. This afternoon, I want to discuss with you two subjects. One is the astral cord, which is seen during astral projection or out of body experience. And maybe in the second part, we talk about astral sex. Yes, but sex can wait. No, the astral cord cannot. So we discuss the astral cord first. What is the astral cord? There are several names for it. Sometimes it's called the silver cord or silver thread. It is a elastic band of energy. It's elastic. It can extend anywhere, even to outer space, without being broken or cut. It is a band of energy, and therefore cannot be cut by scissors or an axe or blown away. It is non-physical in a way. So that's the astral cord, and it's the one that connects the astral body to our physical body, like an umbilical cord. Very few people can see the astral body when they are out of body experience, when they're out of the body, or OOBE. I myself, I have never seen it in my various travels out of my body. I have never seen the silver cord, but it's there. But one person I read, and whom I knew personally before, who was able to see the astral body accidentally when out of the body, was a former movie actress named Dina Bonnevie. She is, this is her. She mentioned this in a magazine article on that was published in 1989. No, but she doesn't look like that. She looks more like this. That's Dina. Okay, and she talked about this. Let me read to you what she said in this the interview. She was done studying at the Ateneo University when one evening she suddenly woke up from sleep and floated out of her body, looking at her physical body, lying asleep on her bed. This is how she described it in that interview, October 3, 1989 issue of Mr. and Miss magazine. And I quote, "How come I am awake? Yet I see myself down there. That meant I was out of my body. Then I saw myself going out of the window. I saw the houses, the streets, the buildings. I flew away from the city and away from the earth. I was heading toward the moon and then to another planet. I don't know what planet that was. Then I said to myself, what am I doing here? When I looked down, I saw a silver thread connecting my body to the place where I came from, my bedroom, where my physical body was lying down. But every time I look down, I couldn't see anybody. Then I remembered the silver line, the silver thread. Then I wondered what would happen if the silver thread snapped. Yet she was already so far from the house, she thought she might not be able to come back. At that instance, as if a snap of a finger, she was back in her room. The silver cord cannot be cut or broken unless it is time for the person to die. That is one good definition of death. For example, when the silver cord is broken, that means death. You know, the reason I say that there is some controversy what exactly is the time of death of a person, what happens, or at what stage can we pronounce a person dead? And there's a controversy about that. Some say 10 minutes after brain dead, or no more heartbeat. Some say maybe 15 minutes. It's not completely agreed upon by doctors. Exactly when are you dead? No, and there are some who are dead who come back to life. So are they really dead? No? There have been many cases of near-death experience that have been reported, thousands of them. So when are you dead? When the silver cord is broken or cut. Now, the King James Version of the Bible mentions the silver cord. Maybe you'll be surprised to know. It's in the Bible. And what happens when it breaks at death? In Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 7, verses 6 and 7. And I quote, "Remember your Creator before the silver cord is broken, or the pitcher shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the well. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it." Unquote. That is in the Bible. It talks about the silver cord. Now, there are several ways by which a person goes out of the body, namely through the head, through the navel, or through the feet even. But according to one spiritual sect based in the US, one should project out only through the body, through the head. Otherwise, he or she may go to the lower astral planes. This sect refers to astral projection as soul travel. It teaches members how to project out of physical body through the head. Now, for me, I don't believe it matters much how one goes out of his body, because it happens usually spontaneously and unintentionally. Astral projection is a natural, harmless phenomenon that happens to almost everybody without their knowing it. Where one goes in the astral plane depends on one's consciousness and not how he goes out of his physical body. When you wake up from sleep and find yourself out of your physical body, don't panic or struggle to get back. Because the more you struggle, the more you panic, the more difficult it is for you to get back to your body. Why? Because there is a desynchronization between the vibrations of your physical body and the vibrations of the astral body. So the more you struggle, it makes it difficult for you to get back to the physical body. So what do you do? What should you do? Don't panic, keep calm. Eventually you will get back to your body. If you think of going to your body, you will be there. Because in the astral plane, what you think of becomes a reality. If you think you're in Moscow or Timbuktu, you'll be there, at an instant. What you think of becomes a reality in the astral plane. So if you think of your body, going into your body calmly, you will gradually move back, or not gradually, suddenly snap back into your body, like what happened to Dana Bonaby. When she thought of her body, she snapped back there. So don't panic. The best thing to do is be calm and think of slowly going back to your body, and you will surely get back. So that's it about astral cord and its significance. If you have any questions about it, I'll say so. All right. Now, the next topic, still have time, I wanted to discuss with you is during astral projection, you may encounter another being, and you can merge soul to soul with that person, and that is what has been known as astral sex. I never knew anything about it. It happened to me a long, long time ago, in 1975, to be exact. I was working then with a large company, and there was a strike in our company, and there was nothing to do uh, in the office. And the management decided that the employees be given training during that period. So we hired a consulting firm, Australian consulting firm doing management consultancy, placement, executive placement, etc. If they could provide somebody to train our supervisors and engineers, supervisory course, supervisory management. And they sent one nice, very charming lady who had a bachelor's degree. I think she even has a master's degree in psychology to conduct the course, and she was doing it daily. And one day, after what was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, she came to my office to report what happened during the seminar. I don't know her too well, neither did she know me. But at that time, we were alone there. She was seated in front of my table. And while we were talking, we just found ourselves suddenly staring at each other. And we became quiet. Because what I was seeing at that time, which I had never seen before, I was seeing her aura, this emanation of color, more prominent on the head and shoulder of a person. But this is the first time I have seen an aura that big. It was expanding and it was beautiful. And I was just astonished. I was just quiet. So I didn't know what was happening. What I didn't know was that at the same time that I was seeing her aura, she was actually seeing mine also. But we didn't know that. I didn't know that because we were quiet. It was as if we were in a trance, both of us, and we didn't induce that. It just happened spontaneously. So it stayed on for maybe half a minute or so. And then the aura expanded. I found myself going out of my body. And I felt that she was also going out of her body. And then when we were completely out of the body, out in the astral plane, we merged. Now, there is no physical contact, but the experience that I had then was so intense. It was so intense, it's indescribable. The intensity of the feeling. It's something that you cannot compare anything physical. We stay there in that state only a few seconds, maybe half a minute, maybe 30 seconds or so. And then gradually, the sensation subsided, and we moved back to our physical body. And when we were in the physical body, I was uncomfortable, and I joked, and I said, didn't that feel like an orgasm? And I was a bit smiling. And she was very serious. She said, no, Jimmy, it's more than that. And I agree with her. It cannot be compared to a physical sensation of orgasm. It was something so intense. It's a soul-to-soul contact. I've never experienced anything like that. And I could never forget it. It happened in 1975, and I still know how it felt. I still know exactly what happened during those moments. And I found out that it has happened to her before with a professor of psychology at the, I think it was Ateneo, where she studied psychology. She's an American professor. She said she has had the same experience, but nobody else, aside from the two of us. I never had this experience. And so I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just hallucination or imagination on my part. I kept quiet. I didn't talk about it with anybody because who would believe me? Who would who would believe that kind of a story? It was so fantastic, unbelievable. So I kept quiet. And then there were two things that happened that made me, or maybe even three things, that made me expose this story or share it with others. And in 1992, my first book, or my book on exploring the powers of your inner mind, I talk about it for the first time. I wrote about that experience. And what made me change my mind, because I found out that there are others who have experienced the same thing. First one, I met a man, I forgot his name, but he was one of those who was with with Ramon Magsaysay when the plane crashed on Mount Pinatubo. I think he was the only one who was saved, who came out alive. And I met him accidentally in a party, Christmas, and we were talking among us on our table. And he mentioned his experience about meeting somebody in the astral plane and then merging with that person. There was an intensity of this feeling and all that. And I said, it happened to you also. And so we exchanged notes, and it was exactly the same sensation, the same experience I had. So I knew I was not the only one who had it. Then I read a book. The book is written by Robert Monroe, an engineer in the United States, who have been having astral travel or out-of-body experience many times during the day. He can go in and out at will. His name is Robert Monroe, and he wrote three books. The first book is what does he call it? Far Journey. And then the second book is more Far Journey, and the last is Ultimate Journey. And he talked about his travels in the astral world. And in one of the books, in the second or third book, I'm not sure which one, either the second or third book, he mentioned meeting another being in the astral plane, where he merged with that person, with that being, of the opposite sex. And the feeling of intensity is also there. But remember, there is no physical contact in this type of thing. And therefore, I don't know how you would regard this, no? Is it adultery? How can that be? So it's something really supernatural, something mystical. And it has happened to several people. Then there was a book I read about astral projection. And it talked also about the possibility of meeting somebody in the astral field, the opposite sex, and merging with that person soul to soul. And that really was very intense. So after reading those things and meeting a person who had experience, I said, so I was not imagining things. It was real. There are many things that we don't understand that happen, but which science ignores. One of the reasons I'm doing this is to show that there are such things that happen which cannot be explained by science, but we are nevertheless true. So these paranormal, psychic things, mystical things, it happened to a lot of people, but mainstream Western science ignores this completely. It's a pity, because if they do not study this, it is to retard the progress of science. As Nikola Tesla said, the moment the science studies non-physical phenomena, the moment science studies non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than it has done, that it has had for the last so many centuries of its existence. And that's Tesla talking. And I agree with him. If only science would be more open-minded towards this thing, there will be a lot of things that they can learn. The physical world is only one aspect of the universe. That is the non-physical world. They have completely ignored. But I cannot blame science for that because, it was not meant to explore non-physical reality. Science was meant only to study physical things, and they're very good at it. You cannot improve on the scientific method anymore. It's perfect when trying to prove the existence of the reality of a physical thing. But once they delve into the non-physical world, that's when they get into trouble because they're applying methodology which is not meant to be for that purpose. So they cannot explain, for example, consciousness, cannot explain this. They cannot explain astral projection. They cannot explain the appearance of ghosts and many other paranormal phenomena. Paranormal phenomena, sometimes defined by them as the study of anomalous phenomena, which is a very biased definition of paranormal. It's defined in a way that it is not true. No. Whereas I defined paranormal as the study or the science that bridges the visible and the invisible world. That is parapsychology. So that's all for now, and till next time, this is Jamie Licauco signing off.